We continue with our midterm election coverage in our exclusive EWTN News Nightly poll. Here are the issues that Catholics in America say are the most important to them. 28% say health care, followed by immigration at 18%. Safety and gun violence is third at 17%. And from June to September, here is how media in print, broadcast, and online are treating Catholic-related issues. Nearly a third of stories from June to September focused on abortion. About a quarter highlighted LGBT issues, and more than 1 in 10 reports dealt with the Supreme Court nomination battle for now Justice Brett Kavanaugh. 1 in 10 were involved in immigration, but in October that has undoubtedly changed given the president's focus on the migrant caravan of Central Americans making their way to the U.S. border, possible changes to birthright citizenship, and other immigration issues. Joining me now is Genevieve Wood, Senior Communications Advisor at the Heritage Foundation and Senior Contributor for the Daily Signal. Genevieve, welcome back to the program.
Happy Election Eve.
Yes, I was going to say that. Happy Election Eve to you, too. More than 32 million Americans have voted early or by absentee ballots. Predictions are holding steady that the Democrats are going to take the House, that they will win the 23 seats that are needed to regain the majority. As you just saw, our Catholic in America poll showed that media coverage of Catholic issues on the subject of abortion is important, and LGBT issues. If Democrats win, how will it affect those issues?
Well, I think they would like to take up those issues for sure and take them towards the left. But I think what will depend is, number one, will they actually win? We'll have to see what happens. Polls are one thing on the day before the election. There's something else on election day itself.
We learned that in the Trump election, didn't we?
Yes, we did. But I think if they do win, it will greatly depend on by how much. So in other words, they need 23 seats to get a majority. If they only pick up 30, that only gives them a 7 or 8 seat majority. I don't think they'll be able to do a lot with that because there will be too many Democrats in the House that are from districts which President Trump won back in 2016, and they, of course, will be up again in 2020. So it's going to be very tough to take all of those folks and get them to go with a really left-leaning agenda. Now, if they pick up 20-plus seats in a majority, that's a whole different ballgame.
And if they do, what would the top priority be for Democrats?
Well, I think number one, I don't think it will be issues. I think it will be things like, let's go impeach the president. Let's try to come up with new investigations. Some of these they'll try to do things, but the Senate, I think Republicans are definitely going to hold. They may pick up 2 or 3 seats, which means some of these things will be dead on arrival.
What about in the Senate? Republicans are poised to maintain control of the Senate. What will their first items of business be? Well,
there's some things the Senate can do by itself, which is like confirm judges, right? So they don't have to have the House pass legislation and send it over. So I think you'll see a lot moving on the judicial side of things. I think what they would like to do is take on things like making tax cuts permanent and so forth, but that they will not be able to do that if the Democrats take over the House.
President Trump has been out on the trail driving home his tough stance on immigration, not touting the booming economy as something that he could. As a longtime political strategist, do you think that runs the risk of turning off some voters, even as it galvanizes others to go vote?
Well, I think what he's doing is what many people know, which is people often tend to be motivated by fear, by anger, by frustration. And I think people are very frustrated with what they see happening on the border, including many people who not only voted for President Trump, but who are even on the independent side and maybe in the middle on a lot of these other issues. They don't like what they're seeing on the border. The economy is going well. It's going great, as a matter of fact. But sometimes that doesn't motivate people. Now, having said that, I think you see individual congressional seats around the country where that is what the candidates in those particular seats are focusing on, because for them, it's not a national issue. It's their smaller issue in their district.
Genevieve Wood of the Heritage Foundation, thank you so much for joining us.